The Watchful Eye. Brad had always been drawn to strange objects, so when he saw the small, intricate sculpture of a single eye at a flea market, he bought it immediately. The eye was carved out of stone, polished and realistic, its iris a deep, glassy black. He placed it on the shelf in his living room, proud of his new find. But as days passed, Brad couldn't shake the feeling that the eye was watching him. No matter where he sat or stood, it seemed to follow his every move. He began rearranging the room, trying to angle the eye so it couldn't see him. But every time he looked at it, it seemed to be staring, unblinking and intense. Soon, Brad's discomfort turned into a strange fascination. He found himself drawn to the eye, sitting for hours studying it from every angle, waiting for something, though he didn't know what. His friends began to worry, noticing his preoccupation, but he brushed them off, laughing nervously. Then, one night, as he lay on the couch, half asleep, a soft voice drifted through the room. "I see you," it whispered. Brad's eyes snapped open. He looked around the darkened room, but he was alone. He glanced toward the sculpture, and an icy dread crept over him. The eye had changed. It was no longer stone, it was flesh, with a pulsing, bloodshot sclera and a glassy, deep black pupil that seemed to expand as it stared at him. The eye blinked. Frozen with horror, he stumbled to his feet, his skin crawling as the eye followed his every movement. He turned away, his mind reeling, but the voice spoke again, louder this time, coming from everywhere and nowhere. "I see you, Brad," it said, the tone cold and mocking. Desperately, he grabbed a cloth and threw it over the sculpture, but he could feel it staring through the fabric, its gaze piercing and relentless. He fled to his bedroom, locking the door, hoping he could escape the madness. Suddenly, a slow creak echoed from the living room, like footsteps on old wood. Then, a scraping at his bedroom door. His breath hitched, and he backed away, heart racing as the doorknob twisted, slowly creaking open. Standing in the doorway was the sculpture, the cloth hanging off its smooth stone surface, except for the eye now fully alive, embedded in the center of the statue, unblinking and fixed on him. He tried to scream, but his voice was gone, trapped in his throat as the eye moved closer, almost filling his entire vision as the eye's gaze burned into his very soul. "I see you always." By morning, the apartment was empty, except for the sculpture on the shelf, its stone eye dull and lifeless once more.